Hello guys, it's me, Caleb from KCNE Studios, and today we are going to be continuing our Godzilla backwards review. We are going to be continuing it with Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla from the Heisei series. Alright, so I got some notes so we can know what we're going to talk about here. And the way I'm going to do this, like always, if you haven't seen my reviews, is we're just going to talk about the bad things about the movie, and then we're going to talk about the good things for this movie. So, all in all, off and on, I have been kind of about this movie. What happened was I watched it a couple weeks ago just for fun, and then I had to watch it again. But last time when I watched it for fun, it just didn't really do it very well for me. And here's why. So, I'm going to start with the bad things of this movie. Is the roar. So, if y'all don't know, I totally choose... I like the 1984 roar over the rest of the roar that they used for the Heisei series. It kind of seemed to go back to the Showa series. The mainstream Showa series roar that they just ended up using later. They did that and they kind of just changed it a little bit, whereas I like the 1984 to 1992 roar a lot better because it just seems a lot more intimidating, and I have no clue why they wanted to change the roar, but there you go. So I just like the old roar better. Not too big of a deal. There in the movie there's a gap of boringness and slight pointlessness actually. It's that scene where the main character, he goes into the room where baby Godzilla is, and he just has this long, boring conversation with the lady that keeps the Godzilla, baby Godzilla, and it just kind of seems long and boring and just too long, and it doesn't really seem to affect the plot. That's something I noticed. And then he gets out his what is it? It's like a flying pterodactyl thing, and he flies around on it with her. It's just kind of boring. I mean, later, after that scene, they get the little kids and they sing their song. That's the only, meaningful part of that scene. Literally, if you watch that movie, it's the only important part of that scene. Next is Mechagodzilla. The things that stood out to me. His face, everyone should have seen this movie already. If you haven't, go ahead and watch it. Come back to this review. So, Mechagodzilla, his face seems just really derpy and doesn't have an expression, and just kind of goes like, and it, I don't know. I don't really like. I don't. It's in my opinion, it's the worst design for Mechagodzilla. I think it looks a whole lot better with the Garuda on its back. But then the other thing I don't like about him is his arms. They're kind of short. That doesn't bother me too much. But the final thing that I don't like about this, and this is probably the biggest one, if I could change anything about this Mechagodzilla, this is what I would change. I would change his thighs. His thighs are way too big. I think, even for Godzilla, he's probably like, you've been eating a lot lately. I don't know. But just even compared to the Heisei Godzilla, they're really big, and just, I don't really know why. Maybe he wants to just seem big and threatening to Godzilla. If that's what they were doing, they could have just made him look intimidating. He doesn't really look intimidating, and I don't know. I'm not sure. Don't know why they chose to do the big thighs thing, especially with Godzilla in general in this series. Next is the first part of the final battle was really slow. I mean, just nothing really seemed to go on. I mean, nothing really happened until he turned into Mechagodzilla, and then that's when the fight started getting interesting. And then after that, I kind of noticed that, oh, that was short. That was like a really short scene of awesomeness. Probably doesn't even last a minute. It's like Mechagodzilla just blowing him with atomic breath or all his cannons and everything. Which he has like 20,000 cannons on him. And that's one cool thing about Mechagodzilla that I have to admit. I think it's my least favorite Mechagodzilla, but he's still a really cool mech. I mean, I want to do a mecha top 10 mechas. He's within the top 5, so there you go. I believe he's in the top 5, but that'll come out soon. Next on the bad things list is Rodan. Okay, so Rodan, they changed his height. They made him like 2 or 3 times smaller. Rodan is supposed to be one of the toughest enemies of Godzilla, actually. He's only fought him one other time, and that was in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Or, not Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, just Ghidorah. Ghidorah the three-headed monster. He was in that movie, and they fought, and he really seemed to just annoy Godzilla so much, and he couldn't do anything about him. And annoying was not the right terminology I should have used. I think I should have said beat on him. Just he was a tough enemy for Godzilla in that movie, and this one it just totally goes down. He's an annoyance. There's a tough enemy, and then there's an annoyance, and he was just on the annoying side. All he would really do is just peck at his face, and it's like the flying condor or whatever from Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. I do like this movie better though. And finally, okay, so that's it. That's it for the bad things. So for the final one, Rodan, his height and his fighting skills were not as good as they should have been in this movie. Should have been a tough enemy, but I guess that's what we have to deal with. Alright, so getting to the good things about this movie. The music. The music was pretty good. Of course, Akira Ifukube, he did it again with his fantastic music. And yeah, not much to say about the music. It was just awesome. Another good old Godzilla music. The intro. The intro was another good thing. If y'all don't know, I'm a big fan of intros, introductions to movies. My favorite's probably 1984 or 2014. I actually like the 2014 intro a lot. It says a lot about the movie, or the origin of Godzilla in that movie. But next, I mean, there you go. His intro, liked it. Showing off Mechagodzilla and all of his most of his glory. Next is Rodan in general. Rodan being in the movie. It was nice to see a new design for Rodan. You know, not much to say about it. He did save Godzilla. That's one thing about it. He saved Godzilla after Mechagodzilla killed him or knocked him out. I'm not gonna get into that argument. That's an argument. That's not a debate. I like to debate. I don't like to argue. Arguing just isn't my thing. I think it gets a little too dramatic. But yes, so he was either knocked out or dead. I'm not going to say for sure because I don't want to get any hate on my channel, especially if Plutonium is watching this. I don't know. We can discuss that in the comments. So in the comment section, just we can have a little conversation. So you can just, say you thought he was killed or he wasn't, and we can just do all kinds of conversations about this movie. I don't care. I just really want to have conversations with you guys. Being that this is a new channel, I want to start meeting some people, and so far I haven't. It's been enjoying, but okay, sorry to get off track there. The story picks up pretty fast, and it entertains well. The whole time, it entertains pretty well, besides the last battle was kind of and that one scene that I told you all about. So, it entertains pretty well. Another cool thing is the first time Rodan appears, there's a lot of intense like lighting and stuff. So yeah, there you go. And in the final battle, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of like intense lighting. They used that in Godzilla vs. Biollante, and it looks really good. Basically, what they did was they composed like mist and stuff around and light, so it just looks really dark and intimidating. So there you go. I like the intense lighting. Next, the battles. On here it says battles in the day, because I took my notes on my phone. It says, I mean, I was happy that there were fights in the day and stuff, but I just thought about it. There was only one daytime fight scene, and that was with Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. And that one was I don't know. This movie wasn't really known for its fight scenes. I don't know. I think it's more known for, like, if you think about the movie, first thing you think about is Mechagodzilla 2. And, yeah. I don't know. Don't want to get into any arguments. Okay. Next is Mechagodzilla and the Garuda. Like I said, that was a really cool combination. It looks better than him just alone. Because it makes his upper body look more, like, big and stuff. Because he's, like, little arms, big thighs. But then with this, he's got those huge cannons, the Garuda's cannons on the front of it. And I think that's a really cool feature. And in my kaiju movies, look out for that, because I'm going to have a lot of, mechs. I'm thinking of having a lot of mechs and stuff that are going to have, like, shoulder cannons, because I think the shoulder cannon thing is really cool. So there's a little teaser for the movie that's coming out. Alright, the beginning of Godzilla Jr. So Godzilla Jr. was found in Rodan's nest. He found, and he's not related to Godzilla. It's just they said he's a plant-eating Godzillasaur, and that it was a parasite egg. And if you don't know what that is, they described in the movie as, it's like what some birds do is they take other eggs and they put them in their nest and treat it as their own child, which I don't really know why they do that. But Rodan did that with the Godzillasaur, and so out popped, and when they found it on the island, and they brought it back to the city to research it, they thought it was going to be a pterodactyl, but it was a Godzillasaur. And the beginning of, and we call him Baby Godzilla. We don't really call him Godzilla, or a Godzillasaur. We call him Baby Godzilla. And in the next movie he's in, he looks a lot cuter. And then the next movie, he's half the size of Godzilla. But in this movie, he's the size of a person, pretty much. He's like 6 or 7 feet tall, or even 5, I don't know. But his suit actually looks really good. And yeah, so here's my final thoughts on this movie. It was not that great. Especially for the Heisei series. I think this movie was a little overrated, honestly. This is probably my second least favorite movie of the Heisei series, and there's a lot of good ones. So this one, I definitely have to say it's somewhat overrated. And that's because it's not what everyone says it is. Like Plutonium, he's like, this is my favorite Godzilla movie, and Mechagodzilla doesn't look that great. Battles weren't that great, and that's really what we came to see the movies for. Oh, another thing is, here's something I forgot to say about the bad things of the movie. Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot what I was saying right there. But yeah, so at the end of all of my reviews, I'm gonna say if I think it would do good as a remake. This one, most likely. I mean, it wasn't the story wasn't anything bad about it. It was just not that epic, in my opinion. And I think Legendary, I'm gonna say yes, Legendary could do a better job with this movie. Because this movie's not that great, in my opinion, and that's just my opinion. I'm not stating a fact, I'm just saying my opinion, and it may differ from your own, so caution. Alright, so thank you for listening to me and my thoughts on this movie. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and watch out for more Kaiju Genesis teasers. Yes, that is the name of the Kaiju movie that I'm working on, and have a great day, guys.